Hey friends, welcome back to Stappystamper. My name is Terry Stapp and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Central Texas. Happy Sunday. If you are following along with our Sunday Stamp Along series for February, this is card number 3 that we are making with the Words of Beauty stamp set and die set. So let's take a look at our materials today. This is the card. Okay, if you have the card kit, we are in envelope number 3, and we're going to take a look at our materials in just a second. If you do not have the card kit and want to make this card, I will put the measurements up on the screen as I go over each piece so that you have the measurements and you can make the card if you would like to. All right, let's take out our materials. All right, so I have a bunch of knick-knack pieces I'm going to kind of get out of the way. We have a card base. This is your card base, and it is in peach pie. Folds like this. You have a piece of old olive and a piece of designer series paper. For the flap, you have a piece of old olive and a piece of designer series paper. Now, I'm going to caution you that there are 2 pieces of old olive that look very similar, okay? They're almost cut to the same dimensions. One of them is a little bit longer. So the shorter we're going to put aside, and you want the longer. This is going to be on the flap of your card. So just keep that in mind when you're putting your pieces together, and just be aware that there are 2 pieces of old olive. It should be obvious. If you try to glue it down, it won't fit properly. But I just want to draw your attention to that. All right, we have another little piece here that's going to make a little flap on our card. You have a plain piece of basic white. This is Calypso Coral. You have a piece of basic white, and we're going to decorate that up a little bit. And then you have your other piece, your shorter piece of old olive, and a piece of basic white. So the only stamping that you're going to need is to put the word because. Remember, if you have the card kit, I can do all of the cutting, all of the die cutting, give you all of the materials, but I cannot do any stamping. So we're using the Words of Beauty stamp set during the month of February. Pull your word because and stamp that down. Now, if you don't want because, we have just, and if you have that stamp set, you could do some other things. For example, what goes with just? You could do just lovely, just sweet, just kind. So if you didn't want just because, you have a few other options if you'd like to stamp that right down here. I did that in Calypso Coral, but once again, there are other colors that coordinate. You could always use old olive. You could use fresh freesia. Petal pink, I believe, is one of the colors. I'm not sure how well it would show up, but you could try petal pink as well if you didn't want to use Calypso Coral. Okay, in your kit, you also have a fussy cut flower. Then you have some die cut flowers that have been put together for you. You have the word just. Probably you are going to have to layer the pieces. You should have a piece that is petal pink, and then on top of that will go a piece of white, and then the gold words or the gold letters that spell out just. Your white piece probably has the dot on the J already glued down for you. I didn't want that to get lost, so I went ahead and glued that down for you. And then you have some gems. These are the Pearls of Beauty gems, and I gave you some gems to put on your card as well. Okay, now that we have our pieces, let's go ahead and start putting our card together. I'm going to move that part out of the way, and I'm going to focus just on the piece of designer series paper and then the large piece of old olive. We're going to put those two pieces together. And then we're going to put this on the inside of our card. I already have it stamped, so it's this way. And then let's put some adhesive here. And I think it goes that way. So let's put this right here. This is going to be the inside of our card. Just like that. Now remember, the designer series paper does have two sides. If you don't care for the floral side, you can always turn it over. There is a petal pink design on the back if you would prefer to use that, either on the inside or on the outside of your card. Okay, I think let's do this part next. Go ahead and pull your piece of, move that out of the way, pull your piece of Calypso coral and the one of the pieces of basic white, not the one that you've stamped on. Pull the other piece, and you need your little floral cutout. So I have fussy cut a flower for you, and that's just going to decorate the inside of your card. Mine is really big. If I put that right there, there's not going to be much room for me to have left to write. Maybe you want that. Maybe you just want to say happy birthday or thinking of you, love, and your name, and that's fine. I tend to write just a little bit more, so I think I'm going to do my paste this down in the corner and leave me a little bit more room to write. You decide for the flower that you have in your kit what you want and how much room you write, or maybe you don't want to use it at all and you just want to have that whole part available for you to write on. So that is up to you. I just put some liquid adhesive on part of my flower, and I know I want some of this coral, but I don't really need all of it. I'm just going to kind of go like that. And then I have a little bit of glue. I'm going to use my hand. Now, if you're using the green glue, I would not recommend you using your hand, because if you wipe it off with your hand, you're going to have a hot mess and you're going to be sticky all day long. So if you have the green glue, maybe pay a little bit more attention to where you're putting the glue. The one that I use, the art glitter glue, is fine, and it doesn't stick to my hands like that. It'll stick the paper, but I don't have to worry about it messing up my hands. Okay, I just trimmed off the excess there, and I have a cute little flower peeking out in the corner of the inside of my card. More adhesive to the back of this. And this is going to go on the inside of your card. Now, this is going to open the opposite way, so keep that in mind when you're gluing this down. This is the inside where you're going to have room to write. So be careful when you are gluing that part of your card down. And I think we're ready. I am going to use green glue for this because it does give me a little bit more wiggle room. Just like that. And it is going to get centered on this piece right here. So this is the inside of my card. I'm going to pop it down in the center. I'm going to pick it up so I can see what I'm doing. And I want it to be equal side to side and top to bottom. Okay, now this is going to fold over just like that. Okay, let's work on our little flap. You have another piece of designer series paper, and you have a piece of old olive that it fits on. Once again, be careful not to pull the other piece and try to adhere these two together because that won't work. Well, you could glue them together. It just won't look quite right. So you have this piece right here. These two are going to get glued together, and then it's going to go on the outside flap of your card. You certainly could use the other piece. That might look kind of nice. But I'm going to stick with all floral. I really like the gold. So I'm going to use the floral piece. All right, now I think I want it to go, which way do I want it? That way? I think I like it this way. All right, I'm turning this upside down so I can see what I'm doing. Turning that upside down so it's facing the direction that I want. Beautiful. All right. Goodness, I have all these little pieces. Okay, closes like this. Now we need to work on the cover of our card. So these two are going to come together, and then they're going to get glued right here. Remember to stamp whatever you want. You have the word just that is die cut for you. So think about what you want. I wanted just because, but you do have a few other options that we talked about earlier. And this is going to get put right here on the front. Just like that. And let's do some flowers. So I'm going to take, I think I want this one. Don't try to put your flower on this side, because when you open it, it's going to hang off and your card won't open properly. So we're going to place the flowers on this side of our card so that when we open it, it doesn't get in the way. So my first flower is going to live right up here in the corner. I'm going to get my liquid glue again and just put some liquid glue in the corner. And then this flower is going to go right, how about right about there? Okay. Now I need some dimensionals. Let's see what I can find here. Here we go. I'll have the end of a sheet. All right, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of both of these flowers. I'm going to have to get my scissors out. And then I want one here and I want one more. So let me cut one of these little pieces here. right there. I think that will work just fine. So pull the card back in, take off the backs of these dimensionals. I'm going to put one. Oh, I don't want that to stick out, so I'm going to turn it just a little bit more. Be careful how you place your dimensionals, because you don't want them sticking out right here. There we go. All right, that works. And then I have this one right here, and I want to stick it here on the other side. How about something like that? Oh, no, see, I did it again. Let me pull this. Almost. Be careful of your dimensionals. There we go. Okay, that works. And then we want to place our just right there. Now on mine, because of the flowers, they were arranged just a little bit differently. The just I put up on dimensionals as well. Depending on your florals, I did mine, and I think I'm just going to glue my just down instead of popping it up on dimensionals. So take a look at your card and how you have it set up, and either use dimensionals. If dimensionals won't work, then just get out some glue and you can glue it down instead. So I'm gonna put this right here just because. Picking it up, want to make sure it's straight. Looks good. Checking the bottom of my J for glue. Nothing is hanging out. All right, last bit. We have some of our gems. So I think I'm going to pick it up, and let's do, I'm going to do one right here. Oh goodness, do you hear my pup? Somebody is probably playing with his ears, if I had to guess. He does not like the ears messed with. All right, what if I do one right here? And one more. Where do I want this to live? Do I want it back up here? Do I want it this side? Maybe I want it right here. All right. Just because. Here's the original card. Here's the one that we just put together. Once again, Joyfold card opens like this. And there you go. Okay, this is card number 3. Next Sunday will be our last card for our February Sunday Stamp-Along. And it is going to look like this. It is a bridge fold card. Really pretty cool. So keep an eye out for this card. Enjoy making this card. And until I see you again, Stappy stamping.